Alright, YouTube family, we just got done reacting to a music video. Got done reacting to this music video. Somebody in the chat said this dude got murdered 2 years ago in a gang feud. And right on the side it got a little documentary or whatever to show what went on, what happened. So let's check that out. Make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit that bell button so you know when I post. And hit them comments so I know what you're thinking. With all that being said, peoples, hit that intro.
Come and rock with me, come rock with me, can't you see? 4 rocks in my hand and see the diamond look like seeds. Angel my neck with that Jesus piece. She be on her knee, watch her give me up so crazily. She call me Mr. Ski.
Alright, let's go ahead and check this out. This video is made by Trap Lord Clips. The murder of Einer. I'm sorry if I'm butchering his name.
Following the kidnapping of Einer and the arrest
Einer. Okay, I was right. Okay, bet.
of the kidnappers, Einer himself kept it street and refused to cooperate in the investigation. And the leaked pictures from the humiliation ritual seem to have little, if any, effect on his popularity, which was only growing. Whilst his old industry friends were fighting their case, Einer would continue showing off his luxurious lifestyle on social media, seemingly replacing his stolen watches with a whole collection of Rolexes and showing off luxury vacations and his time spent driving Lamborghinis.
That Lambo in that bit, that red light in the
rivals and showing that he was doing better than ever despite their best efforts. Moreover, this kidnapping wouldn't make Einer disassociate with the streets, but rather get far more involved, with rumors actually spreading that he was hanging out with various different gangs following his kidnapping and even buying protection from some of them, not dissimilar to Takeshi 69 before he ended up getting busted, including possibly heavy hitters like the Breedan Getwork and Bandito's motorcycle gang, who were infamous in the streets of Sweden for a string of bombings. Einar was also still associating himself with many of the allegedly gang-affiliated rappers such as 50 and Mowgli, who were allegedly in the
That was in a video, on it, Pop Smoke video.
In North Stockholm. This gang has become infamous in recent years for their affiliations with the Foxtrot gang, who've been estimated to run one of the largest drug smuggling and distribution operations in Sweden, with one bust concerning a conspiracy to smuggle a whopping 800 kilos of
Damn.
Foxtrot has also been entangled in extremely violent clashes in recent years with other large gangs, including the Dala Network, who was seemingly directly responsible for Einar's kidnapping, as well as going through a bloody internal conflict. Now, the gang was rumored to have been led by a man named Rawa Majid, the name Rawa being close to the Swedish word rev, which means fox, where the name Foxtrot stems from. Majid is also more commonly known in the media by his nickname, the Kurdish Fox. Einar also collaborated with a rapper called One Cuz, who received unexpected international fame when he got a shout out from Ed Sheeran during a 2022 Breakfast Club interview.
Shout out to Ed Sheeran.
Swedish rapper I was listening to the other day called One Cuz, and he raps in Swedish, but I still feel it.
Yeah, bro, thank you for explaining that shit, Ed Sheeran. I was listening to that Pop Smoke song just then, and it was like, I didn't understand it, but I understood it. Oh, yeah, okay, I'm not tripping. She's crazy.
One Cuz is alleged to have been affiliated with a gang called the Lions, a gang hailing from the Hässelby Gård suburb in northwestern Stockholm, a gang which has since allegedly split into 2 rival gangs after an internal conflict, which I'm not going to get into here. But after doing a prison bid for getting caught with some heavy weaponry, One Cuz would claim to have left the streets behind him, focusing instead on his music career and collaborating with various mainstream celebrities.
He got a fucking feature with Ed Sheeran, that's crazy.
Like Ed Sheeran himself, who actually linked up with One Cuz on the track Two Step. One Cuz has even been associated with the infamous climate activist Greta Thunberg. However, in spite of saying that he left the gang life behind, references to the gang lifestyle have remained a steady part of his music going forward. In his recent music video for the song Trauma Paranoia, One Cuz can even be seen hanging out in both Hässelby Gård and Rinkeby with a large gang. And at one point in the video, a masked man can be seen pointing towards the infamous pizza place in Rinkeby where Hamza was killed. And at the end of the video, One Cuz can be seen posting with the same man in front of the pizza place, making it seem as if the masked man is somehow connected to the murder that took place there. Indeed, One Cuz would also post a photo on Instagram where he's hanging out with none other than Shaki, the young Death Patrol member who killed Hamza at the pizza place. This caused One Cuz to receive some questionable media coverage, with Swedish news reporting a sensational headline calling out Greta Thunberg for socializing with a Death Patrol killer. With this negative press perhaps being the reason that the official YouTube video of that song has been deleted from YouTube. When it comes to the Death Patrol, it seems that Einer too was increasingly spending time with people who had connections to the gang and their affiliates, including the Death Patrol affiliate Doomla and rappers Adel and ZE, who are both from the Järva area. Adel too has been associated in the past with the Death Patrol and the Husby's Hyenas, both enemies of the Shotters. Einer was also not shunning away from rapping about his enemies. In the songs after his kidnapping, he would seemingly often sneak diss the people involved. For example, in one song, with the title translating roughly to put them in their place, released in February 2021, Einer raps about becoming the most streamed artist in Sweden and people who used to be his friends betraying him because of jealousy. It'd be like that. It'd be like that. Who want to see him dead. After this, in April, Einer would put out his most pointed diss with his feature on the song Voy by rapper Danny M. About a week before the song was released, a young man was shot to death in the suburb of Kista. This man would turn out to be the little brother of Haval, the man accused of setting up the kidnapping of Einer. According to reports, the killers in this murder had actually fled.
So that nigga killed his brother because they kidnapped him. Type shit, if I'm connecting it right.
The scene on electric scooters, with Voy, the title of that song, in fact being a popular brand of rentable e-scooters in Stockholm. In the chorus of the song, Danny and Einer rap about a body laying on the ground like a ditch scooter, rapping the lyrics, "Come get your boy." And the imagery of a scooter laying on the ground is seen in the cover artwork for the song.
That's
and
wild.
Einer would actually end his verse with lyrics that seemingly imply his role in a murder-for-hire plot, rapping that a young'un will take one for the team and shoot someone and their friend, and that his new team is planning more than just getting famous, followed by gunshot sounds. The release of this scooter-themed song so soon after the scooter-aided murder would start rumors that Einer may have ordered the murder as revenge for his kidnapping, and much later, alleged leaked DMs between Danny and Haval were posted on social media after Haval had supposedly gotten this song dissing his murdered brother removed from Spotify. But while Einer was seemingly bragging about get back for his kidnapping, the authorities would be getting back for it too. In July 2021,
you can just be posting shit like that.
Finally found guilty for their parts in the kidnapping, and they were sentenced to prison. Haval for 2.5 years, and Yasin for just 10 months. A few months later, in September, Einer would drop a new song, Dancer or Dance, with the rapper Adam, where he seemingly once again takes shots at Haval and his murdered brother. Also in September,
he really reckless out there, ain't it?
Rapper had tried to take a police officer's gun while he was being detained, ending in him getting tased. Different sources seem to put Einer together with his rapper friends Adel and ZE all at the scene, with suggestions that the altercation had taken place during a raid on a party that they were attending. Then, the next month on October the 9th, 2021, newspapers would report how two famous rappers had been arrested following a stabbing in a restaurant. The newspapers would also report that the victim belonged to the Husby's Hyenas gang and that the stabbing was gang-related. And rumors would later circulate, suggesting that Einer, together once again with Adel and ZE, were all at the scene of the stabbing. It seemed that despite Einar's massive mainstream success and previous entanglements with gang members, his life was still heading in an increasingly violent direction. And unfortunately, only about 2 weeks later, on October the 21st, it would all come to an end. That night, Einer was out once again, hanging out with Adel as well as Doomla, who had recently begun making music himself. They were in the wealthy Hammarby Kärstad neighborhood in central Stockholm, where Einer had gotten an apartment. As the trio was exiting a bike storage room at the yard of Einar's apartment building after an apparent smoke session, two assailants would approach them with guns and begin shooting, making Adel and Einer begin to run in different directions, while Doomla would supposedly go back into the bike storage. Einer ran into a courtyard and was seemingly heading towards the door of the building, but would reportedly choose the wrong door where his key fob didn't work. At this point, he was shot several times from close distance. Soon after, people in and around the apartment
You can say it's karma that got him, bruh. Yeah.
Apartments would arrive to try and help him, with some seemingly realizing that this was a famous rapper, deciding to film his final moments on the ground.
That nigga tried to put the keyhole in and it was the wrong key, bro. During that time he was getting shot at? Nah, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Which would soon end up going viral on the internet. Meanwhile, people from the other side, seemingly celebrating, and posted the picture of Einer dead on the ground.
They celebrate.
Caption, "Free Haval."
Yo.
That very night, people on the internet
What the
were getting
fuck?
information with members of the Death Patrol seemingly confirming the murder of Sweden's biggest drill rapper. and the next morning
They posted this nigga dead body.
News in the media about his murder. Immediately, speculation would also begin about exactly what had happened, with news reporting about threats that Einer had received on social media in the days leading up to his death. The news would even claim that money had been put on his head following the recent stabbing incident, and it was that event that apparently made Einer particularly fearful for his life. The witnesses also said that the killers themselves were actually the ones who had seemingly filmed the body of Einer after shooting him, with some wild claims even suggesting that the killers had actually broadcasted the entire execution to other gang members via FaceTime.
What? These niggas, so you telling me these niggas call other gang members that didn't like this nigga? They didn't like this nigga. So they FaceTimed each other, ran this nigga down, shot him, took a photo of him, posted it on the internet. What the fuck? What the fuck?
Live, implying that these were actually contract killers who needed live proof of the job being done. There would even be videos circulating where two masked men seemingly claimed the murder whilst listening to that song Voy by Einer and Danny M, where Einer had supposedly dissed Haval's dead younger brother. However, despite an intensive investigation, the shooters of Einer were not caught, and soon the focus amongst fans and the media turned to the few facts that were known clearly, like the fact that the people that were with Einer at the time of his death, Adel and Dumela, with many asking, how did the killers know where and when to hit Einer? Einer's address
probably been posting it.
Information was secret due to the threats against his safety and the kidnapping case, as well as his popularity in the city. But this address had reportedly been leaked after he became a suspect in a drug investigation. However, even more puzzling, had the killers not arrived when the police did it, smoking, they would have had very few ways to actually reach
accident,
Einer,
for real.
He lived in a secure building that required a key fob access to enter. So the only explanation then was that someone with Einer must have told the killers when to pull up. Soon, the online detectives would
got set up.
Fingers towards the Death Patrol affiliate, Mehdi Dumla Sashir, with speculation that somebody had written on Instagram 2 years before, warning Einer that his friends might sell him out. Indeed, they would also point out that this wouldn't be the first time that Dumla had possibly betrayed a supposed friend and tricked them into their death. On the 30th of June 2019, a rapper by the name of Roz was shot to death in front of his home. Soon after, newspapers would report how an arrest had been made in the case, which linked the killers to the Death Patrol. The person arrested would turn out to be Dumla. The police reports would reveal how Roz's mum had explained to the police how Roz's brother had been killed in a gang-related incident in 2018, and ever since Roz had begun rapping, he had often spoken about avenging his brother's death, upsetting the gang members.
Yo, what? I would not be beefing with no niggas like this. I would not be beefing with no niggas like this, bruh. Y'all see these niggas?
He had often spoken about avenging his brother's death.
Y'all see these niggas? What the fuck?
Upsetting the gang members allegedly responsible for the murder. And then Mehdi, aka Dumla, had suddenly appeared in his life, and soon after, Roz had been killed, with the implication being that Dumla, who had a relationship with the people that Roz was talking about getting back at in his music, had sold him out. Indeed, according to Roz's girlfriend, it was Dumla who called him right before he stepped outside and got shot. The police would eventually catch Roz's killer, but there wasn't enough evidence to tie Dumla into the case. However, when Dumla himself was asked about the online theories regarding his role in Einar's murder, he would deny having anything to do with it, calling it speculation. However, after Einar's murder, the Swedish media would get interested in Dumla too, and one of the largest evening newspapers in the country, the Expressen, would publish an in-depth interview with him where Dumla told about his life as an alleged Death Patrol member, and even shockingly telling the Swedish public to just let the gang members kill each other until there are none left.
Hey, yo!
Suggesting that it's not the middle and upper class people who die in the gang war, but just the people at the bottom who have made
Hey,
it
yo! What the fuck? Yo!
Stadiet som konflikten är i nu mellan
This nigga's tripping!
patrullen. Finns det någon lösning där?
Nej. Det finns ingen lösning. Det finns ingen lösning på den alltså. Tills folk ska dö ju. Folk dör ju.
Och då mammor som förlorar sina söner, pappor, sina barn också. Och ett helt samhälle som blir påverkat av att ni är några killar som skjuter varandra och mördar varandra. Är det rimligt att fortsätta den banan?
Det låter inte rimligt, men... Ja, det låter inte rimligt, nej. Men... Folk måste bort det.
This interview would anger the right-wing media pundits who saw it as glorifying gang life. Moreover, they would point out that Dumla had one particular crime in his past which was so horrendous that it should disqualify him completely from getting any kind of publicity in any context. Months after Einar's murder, in May 2022, a newspaper would report that a man with a known gang affiliation who knew Einar was suspected of aiding and abetting his murder. This man would allegedly turn out to be Dumla. But then, on the morning of Christmas Day 2022, as Dumla was outside on his home turf in Rinkeby, he too was shot in an execution-style attack, passing away on Christmas. A few days later, a YouTube channel dropped Dumla's only music video where he actually ends the song himself, saying, "Rest in peace, Einar." It appears that Einar's murder himself has become a cold case, where the police appear to strongly believe that they know who ordered the murder and who committed it and who set it up. But, as seems to be a trend in this story and this country, they simply don't have enough evidence to charge anyone. Most shocking are the theories about one of the likely shooters, who is thought to have been one of Einar's old childhood friends, who goes by the name of Scar, with both of them seemingly growing up together around Darlin. Scar is thought to have been the killer for the Darlin network, who Einar had been beefing ever since his kidnapping. And while the police have struggled to find evidence to charge Scar or others allegedly associated with the murder, media and online detectives have published theories of a large-scale revenge taking place in the streets in the aftermath of Einar's murder that began with the murder of Dumla and includes a spiral of at least 8 public acts of violence, including a murder, 2 shootings, and 5 bombings, 2 of which targeted Scar.
The bombings is crazy to even hear. Like, these niggas bombing each other.
Directly, and 1 a bombing allegedly targeting the home of Haval. According to different sources, both Haval and Yasin have since moved out of Sweden permanently, following their release from prison after participation in the kidnapping of Einer. The reasons seem obvious, given the violence unraveling around them. However, this hasn't stopped Haval from continuing to diss Einar, as in the summer of 2023, Haval teased a new song to his fans where he seemingly implies witnessing a murder via FaceTime whilst in prison. Just like the police realized about Einar's case, he would eventually drop the controversial song under the name of Southside, and then, a few months later, on Einar's death day, Haval would also post a picture of him smoking with a skeleton.
This nigga is wild.
A message about his feelings towards Einar, even long after his death.
Well, that was the end of the video, peoples. Yo, this shit was crazy. Yeah, yo, we just found out like a lot about Einer. A lot. But if y'all enjoy this content, make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit that bell button so you know when I post, and hit them comments so I know what you're thinking. Cause bro, there's a lot of shit connected with this, huh? I got you, bro. I got you. I got you. It's a lot of shit connected with this shit. Like, what? I don't even know what to say for real, for real. But if y'all enjoy this content, make sure y'all hit that like button and all them good buttons, and I will see you all later. Alright, people, I think I'm gonna end it right here, man. If y'all enjoyed this content, you know what I'm saying, hit that follow button, join the universe type shit. I'm gonna go live tomorrow, probably playing some games and stuff like that. But yeah, y'all have a blessed night, blessed morning or whatever, and I will see you all later.